What's up, y'all? This is Ty. Why was I about to say Happy Mother's Day? Happy Memorial Day. Do we even say that? But I was going to say it's Memorial Day. But anyway, Happy Mother's Day too. Listen, shout out to the mothers. Every day is Mother's Day anyway. So shout out to all the beautiful mothers. We could say Happy Mother's Day. But no, seriously, I meant to say it's Memorial Day. I hope you're having a good Memorial Day weekend. I had a good time. I'm having a good time, but I had to stop in here real quick to do this review. And shout outs to all my lovely subscribers that hold me down. You know who you all are. And listen, if it's your first time here, you know what you could do? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave some nice comments. Help make this channel go and grow. Keep it going. You know, come on, let's get this channel going. Let's do it. Thank you. I'm thanking you in advance because I know you're going to hit the like button. I know you're going to subscribe. You're going to leave a nice comment down. You're going to talk about this with me. And that's what we do here. We have a good time here. So now I got all the begging out the way. Let me tell you why I am here. I am here to review a show that I've been watching on HBO Max. Yes, I know, another streaming channel. This one is HBO Max. It is called The Staircase, and it is about a man, a crime novelist, Michael Peterson, who is accused of killing his own wife when he calls in 911 and says that he discovered her body at the bottom of the staircase. That's why the show has that the title, The Staircase, because that's where his wife, Kathleen Peterson, was found. And it has a great cast. It stars Colin Firth as Michael Peterson, Toni Collette as Kathleen Peterson, Parker Posey's in this. It's a good cast. She's one of the prosecutors, and it's a really good show. The acting is good. The way they flesh things out, I was sitting here like, whoa, what's going on? So it starts off, let me tell you. Then they live in Durham, North Carolina. Shout outs to Durham, North Carolina. They in this nice, beautiful home, big mansion. They were out one evening in the backyard having drinks and doing what couples do, you know. And then she went in first. Then we see Michael come in and he discovers her laying at the bottom of the staircase, and he loses it like any husband would when he sees his wife laying at the bottom of the staircase. He calls 911. He's frantic. He's losing it. He's like, my wife, she's at the bottom of the staircase. Oh my God. Come, somebody help, hurry, she's still breathing, hurry up. All of this, I think he made 2 calls. I was feeling bad for Mr. Peterson, y'all. But when they put that camera over to the body, and I saw all this blood on the walls, blood on the stairs, blood on her, you want me to believe that she fell down the stairs? With all this blood from falling down the stairs? But what the show does do that I like, they do give different scenarios. They have, like in flashbacks, different ways she may have fallen down those stairs. Maybe she fell and she was bleeding and she coughed up the blood and she spit the blood out on the wall or whatever. And maybe she slipped on the blood and that's why she kept falling. That's why you kept seeing all the blood. But I wasn't buying. I was like, nah. No. There is something ain't right with this. Mr. Peterson, how could you? Now look, I'm looking at him like, Mr. Peterson, because I was feeling bad for him because, you know, he was so hurt and sad. Then you see his son come up there, and the son had a little girlfriend with him, and he like, yeah, baby, you know, my parents, the house so big, they ain't even know you here. We gonna have a good time. You know, he was planning something. And imagine you come with your girl, and you pull up to the house, and you see tape across. You're like, what's going on? So he's thinking the worst, and the worst did happen. His father is losing it. You see all that blood. He's telling his father, you got to tell him what happened. The father's crying. Oh, she was at the bottom of the stairs. She fell. He's hurt. He's hurt. You feel bad for him. But it's all that blood. All that blood. You're like, nah. Something's wrong. But it gets worse. The police say, I'm going to need y'all to stay here. This is now a crime scene. He is now the suspect. So me, when I'm watching shows, I just can't watch the show. I got to grab my phone and go to Google and Wikipedia and IMDb. I got to see who's in it. And I realized this is based on a true story, a real story. This happened in 2001. Where was I? How did I miss this? Because, I like all those like true crime documentaries and things. This happened in 2001. And this Michael Peterson is real. This really happened. So, I also discovered there's a Netflix documentary also called The Staircase. So, I had to watch that after I watched this. This has 8 episodes. Only 6 has aired. So, after I watched all 6 episodes, I went on down to Netflix and watched the documentary. And it was like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So now, let me tell you, let me give you some backstory here because it gets crazier. Michael, this is his second wife. He was married to Sue Peterson back in the day. They had 2 kids, Clayton and Todd, back in Germany. And when they were in Germany, When they were in Germany, they had 2 kids. Him and Sue had 2 kids, 2 boys. But there was neighbors that they had. And those neighbors, the father died. They had 2 girls. I believe their names was Odessa and Sophie. They had 2 girls. When the father died, they were left with just their mother. Then their mom died. And when the mother died, Michael adopted them. So you have Michael's 2 boys. Then we have the 2 girls that he adopted. That's 4 children. Then when he met Kathleen, she already had a child. I think her daughter's name is Caitlin. And so now you have this big family, this blended family. Big, beautiful, blended family. But it's not as nice as it all seems. Because this is where it gets crazy, but it continues to get crazy. And then knowing that this is a true story, I'm like, whoa. So they done went through Mr. Peterson's computer and they done found some porn. And this is not just, excuse me, this is not, the regular Pornhub or OnlyFans and all that stuff. Not that I know, because, I don't watch any of that. But, I heard about it. But Mr. Peterson been emailing and going on these escort sites. Escorts. But male escorts. Mr. Peterson is bisexual. I almost fell out. See, this is why you can't judge a book by its cover, because he doesn't look like that type. But again, what does that type look like? You know what I'm saying? That's why you can't be ignorant, right? But I was like, I just see this old man. He's an old novelist. He's a freak. Homeboy was emailing these male prostitutes talking about licking and sticking, and homeboy was talking about sucking and licking and sticking and grabbing. I mean, can you imagine how humiliating that was? All his dirty laundry was out there. So he says, yeah, I was like, Mr. Peterson, like I know him. Mr. Peterson. I had no idea he was like that. That's how invested I was. And I was like, wow, you're really doing your thing. Now, listen, you won't be a freak. That's your business, but you're married. And then he said his wife did not know he was bisexual, but she wouldn't have mind, and they had a loving marriage and this, that, and the third. I believe that's what he was saying. She didn't know, she wasn't aware, or something like that. So I think that's what he said. But the thing was, the crazy part about that was, can you imagine this is your father and you find all this stuff out about your dad, and just that's so humiliating, so crazy that the kids had to deal with that and go through that. But it gets worse than that. But this is what they think, though. The police believe Kathleen found out that he was licking and sticking and, doing all that stuff, tipping and dipping and looking at these young men and stuff. And they believe that is why he killed her, because she found him out. That's what they believe. They believe that she found him out, and that is why he killed her. Mr. Peterson has been tipping and dipping and sucking and licking and hitting and hitting and it's crazy. So the family, Kathleen's sisters are like, nah, bro. They're not with this. Kathleen's daughter's like, nah, I'm not with this. But his other children are still sticking by him and standing by him. And it had to be humiliating and embarrassing for you. You don't know we never know who anybody really is. But to discover all of that type of stuff is just crazy. But that's not it. It had the nerve to get worse than that. Back in the day, when he was in Germany, remember the 2 twins? Are they twins? Well, the 2 girls that he adopted, those two, come to find out their mom, right? She died, and she was found at the bottom of the staircase. Same way as Kathleen. And who was Mr. Peterson? Again, you with a staircase incident 20 years prior. Nah, come on, this is too much of a coincidence. So it's like, hold on, wait a minute. You found another woman at the bottom of the stairs 20 years ago? His lawyer was like, yo, you didn't tell me anything about this. It was crazy. So he's saying, so her family was like, we always thought he did something to her. He claimed she had a brain aneurysm. They looked at her body again and they discovered that she too, they believe, was bludgeoned to death. Did Michael Peterson do that? But what was his motive? You know, so I'm watching this series and watching that, and then I watched the documentary where he's giving his version of things, and he seems like quite the nice guy, nice charismatic guy. But wow, this stuff was just crazy just to see, especially when I watched the documentary, to see the actual real trial and see the real family and the real people and compare it to the series, which was very good and very well written. It hasn't finished. I still got 2 more episodes that haven't aired yet, but it was so good. But I was like, wow, how did I miss this one? But it was so good and so crazy to me that these type of things happen. So I'm like, wow. So the family's divided, but those daughters still stood by him and they don't believe. So I'm like, it's possible that this man killed your biological mother and then your adopted mother. Like, that's crazy. It was just so much to this story, so much going on. He did eventually end up going to jail, and I believe he did he do like 8 years in prison or something like that? But he also got out. He took a plea or something like that because there was something about, if I'm not mistaken, there was some issues with the original trial and something, but he ended up taking a pleading down to manslaughter. So he's out right now. He's out. He's an older guy, but still such an intriguing series. And I know you're like, well, Ty, you done told us it all, but listen, you gotta watch it. You gotta see. It's so fascinating to watch, especially after watching the series. When I watched the actual trial footage from the actual trial, and when they had one of the male escorts testifying about their relationship and the looks on people's faces in the courtroom, his family members, and this was one lady, she's like, because the guy was just going into details on what he does as a living, this escort dude. It was just crazy. And just to see Mr. Michael Peterson's face, it's like at one point you're like, wow, this guy's a murderer. You do, because I was like, he can't. I think he's guilty. I think he did it. It's just too coincidental for me. But then at the same time, he was very likable, and you kind of believed him too when he was like, no, this just happened to be coincidence. Yeah, I dibbled and dabbled, and I'm bisexual and all that stuff, but I'm not a killer. But it's like when things like that happen, your character, the courtroom didn't like him. Nobody liked it. It was very damaging, very damaging. But I say all that to say, check it out, watch it. If you've watched it, tell me what your thoughts were down below. Go check out the series on Netflix. Both. Check it out on HBO Max, and then watch the documentary on Netflix. You're going to enjoy them if you're into these kind of things. It was great. That's all I got before I start rambling, but it was so much going on, and just so much going on. But that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.